So hello everyone, today we are going to learn about a new chapter, that is inverse trigonometric functions. So first of all we will start from basically NCRT, and then further we will goes on to higher level also. You can watch my previous videos also on trigonometry and basic trigonometric ratios, their values, how to find their values, to find whether they are positive or negative. So I will start from NCRT first exercise, then we will move on. So you should have a knowledge about the graphs of functions. For example, this is sine graph. Sine graph is this curve. At 90 degree it is -1, minus 90 degree it is sine minus 90 is -1, sine 0 is 0, sine minus pi, sine minus pi means sine minus 180 degree is also 0. So on when it is 0 degree, 180 degree and 360 degree, then its value is 0. And on y-axis, that is sine minus 90 or sine 90, sine 270, it is -1, depending on in which quadrant the angle will be. Similarly, this is sine inverse x graph. Y is equal to function y is equal to sine inverse x. In this, for example, you have to find sine -1. What is the value of sine -1? So you can find from the previous graph. Sine -1 is sine minus 90 degree. And this graph is about relation between sine x graph and sine inverse x graph. This is sine x graph and this is sine inverse x graph. So you can see that on sine 0 it is 0, and sine -0, sine inverse -0 is also 0 degree. Sine 90 is 1, sine 180 is sine 90 is 1 and sine 180 is 0. So if it is lying on axis, then it will be 0, and it is lying on this is the maximum value, so or the minimum value, extreme value. This is maximum value, that is 1. Sine maximum value lies between 1 and -1. So we can say that range of sine function is between -1 and 1. Similarly, the range of cos function is between -1 and 1. Similarly, this is cos x graph. As you can see, the difference between sine x graph and cos x graph is that sine 0 is 0 and sine cos 0 is 1. Means where sine value is minimum, their cos value is maximum. Cos 180 is -1 and cos 90 is 0. Similarly, cos minus 90 is also 0 and cos minus 180 is -1. So cos value is positive in first and fourth quadrant only. If angle lies between 0 to 90 degree or 0 to -90 degree, then cos angle will be positive. I have told you about in previous video about quadrants. This in first, second, third, fourth. If cos value is lying between first and fourth quadrant, then it will be positive, and then either if not, then it will be negative. This is 10x graph. 10 the value of 10x function ranges between -infinity to infinity. This is -infinity going to -infinity, and this is up to infinity. This is tan inverse x graph. So it is same, but the thing is that it is going upward to, it is going like this. So if I ask you what is the value of sine tan inverse -1, what you will be answer? Tan inverse -1 lies there. It will be minus pi by 2. Sorry, tan inverse -1 will be minus pi by 4, because minus 1 it is here and it is touching here, so there will be minus pi by 4. Here it is minus pi by 2 and it goes up to infinity minus pi. 10 inverse 10 value of 10 0 at 0 is at 10 inverse minus pi. 10 inverse minus pi is 0. In simple words, I can say that 10 values positive in first and third quadrant only. In second and fourth quadrant, if the value of angle is lying, then it will be negative. So it is domain and ranges are given. So sine domain can be sine inverse of these are of inverse functions. Sine inverse domain can be -1 and 1, both are included, so it will give between values minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Similarly, cos inverse will be -1 and 1, and it will give values from 0 to pi. These are principal values. Similarly, cosec inverse domain can be any real number except -1 and 1, between -1 and 1. Any real number except numbers between -1 and 1. Similarly, sec inverse, it is inverse of cos inverse, so I can write cos inverse plus sine inverse is equal to pi by 2. So the principal value of sec inverse will be between 0 to pi, both are included except pi by 2, because at pi by 2 sec inverse is infinity, so we don't count value where in value of angle will be infinity. So similarly, cos inverse 0 is infinity, so we don't count in principal values. Cosec inverse domain principal values lie between minus pi by 2 pi by 2 except 0. Similarly, tan inverse, all real numbers values can be its domain, because its value lies between minus infinity to infinity, and its principal value is minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, between numbers between angle between minus pi by 2 and pi by 2. This is principal values. Cot inverse, all real numbers can be its domain, and principal values between 0 to pi. Thank you. So in next video I will tell you more about inverse trigonometric functions, and we will also practice some questions, so your concept is crystal clear. Thank you. Jai Hind. Please subscribe the channel and like the video for more. Thank you.